One morning, you wake up and it hits you, this isn't just regular tiredness anymore. It's something more subtle, more unsettling, the slow, quiet loss of your manhood. The firmness you used to count on. It's vanished. That inner drive, fading away, and nobody seems to talk about it. But here's the truth. What's draining your performance in the bedroom isn't only age. It runs deeper than that. And the answer doesn't lie in a little blue pillet, lies in a simple, natural habit. 1 spoonful each morning. My name is Dr. Moheit Kara. I've spent over 3 decades specializing in men's health, helping guys over 60 reignite their energy, vitality, and confidence. I've worked with everyone from retired executives to veterans and devoted grandfathersmen who believed their best years were behind them until they saw what's still possible. Because even at 70 or beyond, your body is capable of healing and regaining its strength when given the right support. Most men believe the solution lies in synthetic hormones or prescription meds. But what if the real issue was something else entirely, like inflamed blood vessels, dormant testosterone, and stress hormones quietly sabotaging your performance? And what if 3 time-honored natural ingredients, taken daily in one easy step, could start undoing that damage? That's exactly what this is all about. 1 spoonful every morning. A simple, powerful combination that's helped thousands of men reclaim strong, reliable erections naturally, without pills and without side effects. In a moment, I'll break down the exact ingredients in this blend, how they work together, and what kinds of results you can expect in the coming weeks. So stick with me, because this might be the turning point you've been waiting for. But first, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and tap the notification bell. This way, you'll never miss a natural health tip designed specifically for men over 60. And if what you're hearing connects with you, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0 and tell me what you'd like me to cover next. Now, let's get to the real core of this solution. What's in that spoon? Why does it work? And why is it so different from everything else out there? We begin with the foundation, the reason this entire formula works. If you want to naturally bring back firm, consistent erections without relying on medications, you must start where male vitality truly begins, your hormones. And that's where Maca root plays a critical role. Just 1 spoonful every morning, that's the natural answer. Let me share a story. Years ago, a 67-year-old man came to see me. He sat down, looked me straight in the eyes and said, "Doctor, I feel like I'm slipping away." He wasn't sick, he wasn't broken, but he felt distant from the man he used to be. His energy was fading, and the intimacy he once enjoyed had vanished. He wasn't searching for a miracle, just something to help him feel normal again. And I told him what I've told thousands of others over the years. It's not too late. In fact, it's far from it. Your body hasn't forgotten what it's capable of, it just needs the right kind of support, delivered consistently. That's exactly how this morning ritual came to life. Not from lab theory, but from real-world experiencemen who felt lost, frustrated, and ready to reclaim their power. Just 1 spoonful each morning before breakfast. That's all it takes. And yes, it really is that simple, and that's part of why it works. This isn't some miracle powder. It's a thoughtfully crafted blend of 3 well-studied, ancient ingredients: Maca root, ginger, and Ashwagandha. Together, they target the key systems responsible for male performance, circulation, hormones, and emotional well-being. These are the same systems that slowly decline with age, leading to weaker erections and lower desire. But with proper nourishment, those systems can come back online. And when they do, you begin to feel its subtle at first energy returning, libido waking up, and a quiet confidence rebuilding from within. Many men are surprised by how fast they notice a change after adding this blend to their daily routine. This isn't a jolt of artificial energy or a fleeting rush, it's deep internal restoration. I've had men tell me they started waking up with natural morning erections again, that their fear around intimacy faded, that they felt a shift, gentle but deeply real. What I find most powerful isn't just the physical return, it's what happens in the mind and heart. There's a renewed belief, a sense that you're not past your prime after all. That your masculinity hasn't left you, it's simply been waiting for a signal. And this one habit might be just that. So, now that we understand what this one spoonful can unlock, let's take a closer look at the first ingredient, the one that sparks your natural testosterone and desire from within. Maca wrote, "A natural awakening." I'll never forget the story of one of my older patients, Edward, 72. He had recently lost his wife, and after some time alone, he began dating again. But when he came into my office, his shoulders were slumped and his voice carried defeat. "Doc," he said, "I care about her. I want to be close to her. But my body just isn't cooperating. I feel like I've lost who I was." His struggle wasn't just physical, it was emotional. He didn't want pills. He didn't want to fake it. What he longed for was to feel like himself again. That's why I introduced him to maca root. Grown high in the Andes of Peru, maca has long been known as a natural symbol of stamina and masculine energy. But what really makes it special is how it supports the body's own testosterone production gently, without synthetic hormones or artificial triggers. It's a quiet restart button for the male drive that's been dulled over time. As we age, testosterone doesn't disappear. Overnight, it fades gradually. Along with it goes our energy, mood, and sexual confidence. But maca can help reverse that trend steadily, naturally, and without side effects. As we get older, our testosterone levels tend to decline, not all at once, but gradually over time. And as that hormone dips, you start to notice the effects. Fatigue, low motivation, diminished interest in intimacy, and less reliable erections. That's where maca plays its role. It doesn't overpower your system, it gently helps guide your body back to balance. Many of the men I've worked with over the years have shared something unexpected. As they added maca to their routine, it wasn't just their physical response that returned, it was their emotional presence too. They felt more engaged. Their confidence grew. That quiet strength, the essence of masculinity, began to return. Their partners noticed it as well, not just in private moments, but in the way these men carried themselves. In their tone of voice, the way they made eye contact, how they stepped into their day with presence. By making maca part of your daily rhythm, you're telling your body to start producing again. You're reigniting the memory of how things used to function, not by forcing youth, but by reawakening the parts of you that never truly disappeared. But testosterone is just one piece of the puzzle. For healthy, dependable erections, your blood has to flow freely, consistently, and with strength. And that's where another powerful, natural ingredient steps in, one that has supported male circulation for generations. Ginger, clearing the path for blood flow. I once worked with a man named Robert. He was 68 and had spent decades as a firefighter, strong, resilient, dependable. But when he sat in my office, he carried a heaviness. "Doc," he said, "I feel like my body let me down. I want to be there for my wife, but nothing's happening down there." His words weren't laced with shame, just a deep frustration. He still had the desire, but his body wasn't keeping up. And here's the thing. For many men in Robert's situation, the core issue isn't mental or even hormonal, it's vascular. Erections depend on healthy blood flow. If the blood can't reach the penis and stay there, it doesn't matter how strong the desire is. And as we age, our blood vessels can become stiff, narrowed, and inflamed, slowing everything down. That's where ginger comes in. More than just a spice in your kitchen, ginger is a potent anti-inflammatory agent. It works inside the vascular system to reduce the kind of hidden inflammation that accumulates over time, clearing the way for better, more consistent blood flow. And with better circulation, firmer erections often follow. I've seen it happen countless times. Men who had nearly given up find themselves waking with morning erections again. Not because they used a synthetic stimulant, but because their blood began moving the way it used to. Ginger doesn't act like a drug, it doesn't push your body. It simply restores the conditions where your natural response can thrive again. When Robert came back to see me 3 weeks later, he wore a look I hadn't seen before, quiet smile that said something had shifted. He wasn't fully back, but he felt it beginning. "It's coming back," he told me simply. "And that's what I want for you to sense, that return. Your strength, your confidence, that grounded feeling of being fully alive as a man. But there's more to this than just blood flow and testosterone. There's another element that often flies under the radar, and yet it's one of the biggest reasons men lose their edge. That hidden factor? Stress. Not the loud, obvious kind. I'm talking about the silent pressure that creeps in year after year until one day you realize you've lost your spark and you don't even know when it happened. And that's where a third ingredient comes in. An ancient root that's been helping men recover their equilibrium for centuries. Ashwagandha, restoring calm and reclaiming power. Here's something we don't speak about enough as men. Stress, not the kind that explodes, but the kind that simmers beneath the surface. That quiet weight sitting in your chest, keeping you up at night, making everything feel just a little heavier than it should. I've seen this play out more times than I can count. Hardworking men who provided for their families, held everything together, and now years later find themselves lying awake, feeling disconnected from their own lives, disconnected from themselves. One man in particular stands out. This name was Howard. He was 74, mentally sharp and quick-witted, but you could see the exhaustion in his eyes. He hadn't had a full night of sleep in years. He felt constant tension, and intimacy was just a distant memory. He told me he no longer felt desire, and worse, he no longer felt like himself. Howard's testosterone levels were low, and his ability to perform had faded. But underneath it all was a deeper issue. His nervous system had been stuck in overdrive for decades. His body had forgotten how to slow down, how to rest. That's when I recommended ashwagandha, not a trendy supplement, but a time-honored adaptogena root used for thousands of years to bring the body back into balance, calm the mind, and ease stress on a hormonal level. What sets ashwagandha apart is its quiet power. It doesn't push you into a high, it brings you into balance. It lowers cortisol, your primary stress hormone, the same one that, when left unchecked, disrupts testosterone, ruins your sleep, and suppresses your sex drive. Just 2 weeks after making ashwagandha part of his daily routine, Howard came back a different man. He spoke differently. His face looked lighter, more relaxed. I didn't realize how tightly I'd been holding on, he told me. Now I feel like I can finally breathe again. And from that calm, something else began to return: desire. His body started to respond again, not through pressure or pills, but through peace, through finally letting go and allowing the body to remember how to function on its own terms. That's the quiet magic of ashwagandha. It doesn't force your body to perform. It gently guides it back to its natural rhythm. When chronic stress is no longer calling the shots, your true masculinity can rise naturally, steadily, and without resistance. And now, with these 3 powerful ingredients working in harmony, boosting testosterone, improving circulation, and calming your nervous system, you're probably asking the next logical question. How do you actually turn this into a habit? Let's walk through it. How to prepare the daily blend. By now, you've learned what maca, ginger, and ashwagandha can do for your body. But knowing isn't enough. You need a simple way to make them part of your daily life. And that's what this is. Not a treatment plan, not another chore, but a moment of personal care just for you. That matters, because by the time you've reached 60 or beyond, chances are you've been the provider, the fixer, the strong one for others. This time, it's about giving back to yourself in a way that's uncomplicated, effective, and sustainable. Here's how to make it part of your routine. Grab a clean bowl and mix together equal parts of the 3 ingredients. 1 tablespoon of maca powder, 1 tablespoon of ginger powder, and 1 tablespoon of ashwagandha powder. That's it. Just 3 all-natural, well-studied components. Stir them until the blend is even and smooth, then transfer it into a sealed glass jar. Keep it in the fridge to maintain freshness and potency. Each morning, before your first full meal, scoop out a generous tablespoon. You can stir it into warm water or lemon water for better absorption. Some men enjoy it in plain yogurt or unsweetened almond milk. It doesn't need to be fancy or taste incredible, it just needs to become part of your rhythm. This small daily ritual sends a clear message to your body. I'm reclaiming my strength. And don't underestimate the power of consistency. It's not about doing it once, it's about doing it every morning, intentionally and quietly, that begins to shift things on a cellular level. Be patient, Stay steady. Your body is listening and it's ready to respond. Now, you might be asking, what happens after I start? How will I know it's making a difference? What should I expect in those first few weeks? That's exactly what we'll explore next, because the way this transformation unfolds often surprises even the most skeptical men. Let's dive into that next step. Healing doesn't happen in an instant. It unfolds like a sunrise. You may not recognize the exact moment it begins, but gradually, everything starts to shift. Your body doesn't need to be forced into action, it just needs to remember how to respond, how your body comes back to life. In the first week, don't expect fireworks. Most men don't feel a rush of sexual energy, they feel something quieter, more grounded. Sleep becomes a little more restful. Waking up feels less heavy. That fog that's been lingering behind your eyes or pressing on your chest begins to lift. There's a new calmness, a gentle sense that something inside you is finally relaxing. By the second week, the changes become more physical. Your joints might loosen up. Getting out of a chair feels easier. Maybe you find yourself walking up the stairs without needing to pause. But the most important shift is emotional. Desire returns. It's not dramatic, it's natural. You might look at your partner and feel that old familiar pull. And in that moment, your body may surprise you. You feel stronger, more in control. That's not a miracle. That's your system, your blood flow, your hormones finally doing what they're meant to do. By the third or fourth week, things often become undeniable. You might begin waking with morning erections again. You feel more like yourself, calm, confident, steady, not because of a drug, but because your body has started to heal from within. And that's what separates this from a quick fix. It's not temporary. It's a foundation for long-term change. But the most important part, this is just the beginning. Once your body starts responding, once that inner strength begins to return, the question becomes, how do you keep this momentum going? How do you carry this progress forward into the years to come? We'll get to that, because the next step is even simpler and far more fulfilling than you might think. A final word: if you've made it this far, thank you. Thank you for staying with this message, for investing your time, your focus, and your belief in your own well-being. That choice alone tells me something important. You haven't given up, you still care. And that, more than anything, is the reason real transformation is possible. Because reclaiming your strength after 60 isn't about pretending to be younger. It's about respecting everything you've lived through and giving your body the nourishment it needs to keep moving forward with strength and purpose. We talked about 3 key ingredients. Maca, to naturally reignite your testosterone and sexual energy. Ginger, to clear inflammation and restore blood flow where it matters most. Ashwagandha, to quiet stress, improve sleep, and bring your nervous system back into balance. 3 powerful allies, 1 daily habit, and endless small signs that your body is waking back upon morning at a time. Maybe it begins with deeper sleep, or perhaps it's the moment you realize you can walk a little farther without losing your breath. Maybe it's when you catch yourself standing taller, speaking with more clarity, and looking at your partner with that spark in your eyes that's been missing for too long. It doesn't matter when the change arrives. What matters is that it doesn't, that you made it happen. This isn't a treatment plan. It's not about fixing something that's broken. Because the truth is, you were never broken. Your body has been doing the best it could with what it had. Now, for the first time in a long time, you're giving it the tools it's been waiting. 4 tools that are safe, natural, and designed to restore the most vital systems within you. So begin with just 1 spoon each morning. Be consistent. Let the process unfold in its own quiet way. The changes won't always shout, but they will arrive. I've seen it happen with men older than you. Men who were convinced they'd missed their chance. You haven't missed your chance. You're exactly where you need to be. And this new chapter, it's waiting for you. With strength, with confidence, and with a body that finally feels like it's truly yours again.